What is up, everybody? Welcome to the All Punked Up podcast. John, this is actually episode 199.
I knew that.
199. You've been keeping track?
Yep.
All right. So, welcome, everybody. It's our first show back from the holiday break. John, did you have a good holiday?
It was okay. It came too quickly, and then the whole year went by too quick.
It really did. I don't know if that's just us getting older and then time just going by faster because we're getting older, or if, I don't know.
I think the older you get, the less you look forward to the holidays, I think. So they kind of just zoom by. When you look forward to stuff, it kind of slows down, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of weird you say that because Emily and I were talking, and it's like everything just seemed go, go, go this year. But it's like we almost felt like this holiday wasn't as special for whatever reason.
We had the same vibe.
It's just weird. I don't know. So anyways, it is good to be back. We got to loosen the joints, get back into the flow of this podcast stuff. If you guys listened to our last podcast episode 2 weeks ago, episode 198, you would have heard me mention that All Punked Up is going to be going under some changing. Basically what that means is, and I'll keep it brief, I went into more detail in the last episode, but All Punked Up itself, the allpunkedup.com site, is going to become the All Punked Up merch store. It's just going to be a store. We will have news on there still, but we're primarily going to start pushing, merch. There might be some All Punked Up merch, but it's mostly going to be geared towards the scene. So it's not going to say All Punked Up on everything. Actually, I don't even think there's anything that says All Punked Up currently on the site that I'm building right now. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So allpunkedup.com will be changing to that. Additionally, this podcast, the All Punked Up podcast, will be changing. John and I have a name in mind. I think we're sold on it. We were just talking about it before hitting record today. I think we're sold on that. I don't know when we're going to make that switch. I've bought the domain name for it, so that's good.
Surprised that makes it official, really.
Yeah, and actually, I am surprised, John, that the name that we came up with has not been picked when it comes to music podcasts. So I honestly can't believe it. So I think it's a good one. I think it makes sense. John and I, we love music, and we don't just love pop punk music. I like rock. John likes rock. We both like alternative music. I think we both like indie music. I like country music from time to time. John likes his jazz. So we want to be able to talk more about the music industry as a whole and not just like in the alternative music space. So changing the name from All Punked Up, the All Punked Up podcast, to what we're going to be changing it to kind of lets us do that. I feel like, because I feel like the term punk in our name just kind of pigeonholes us. And also the big thing is if somebody's looking for a new music podcast and they're scrolling Apple Podcasts or whatever, and they come across the All Punked Up podcast, well, if they don't like punk music, they're definitely not going to check us out, even though we don't really talk about punk music. We talk about pop punk, emo, alternative, all those things. So somebody who sees that podcast name may not even give us a chance. So I feel like that puts us kind of in a hole there. So changing the name will hopefully give us more discoverability and get more listeners just like you. So that's the goal. We want to grow this thing. So with that, the name will be changing. Maybe we'll do it on the 200th episode. That kind of would make some sense. Or maybe episode 201. But we will be changing it here in the next couple weeks for sure.
God damn it.
We'll just see. So with that out of the way, I do also want to mention, since the allpunkedup.com site is going to become the store, we're doing that because All Punked Up needs to start making some money to kind of make sense to kind of keep doing this podcast stuff, running the site.
It's time for us to sell out.
It's time for us to sell out. That's exactly, John. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yep.
I didn't really want to say it that way, but it is what it is. But anyways, I do want to say thank you to the ones out there who have supported us monetarily. That does go such a long way. It helps pay for this podcast. This stuff, again, is not cheap. But if you guys, longtime listeners, even new listeners, if you want to help support us, you definitely can. For as little as $3 a month, which is less than your morning cup of coffee, you can help support this podcast, help us keep the lights on, pay for the hosting, pay
we
for the
played some
website.
Sarah McLachlan music while we were doing this. I think we might have some.
The
sad dead dog music.
That would be
the
amazing.
one-eyed kitten kind of music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet
for just $3.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, just like I did with your More You Should Know bit a couple weeks ago.
I don't want to see any sad kittens and puppies.
Well, that's what we're going to get on the socials.
No, I don't.
Anyways, guys, for as little as $3 a month, you can help support this podcast and help us keep this thing going. If you are interested, hit the support the show link in the show notes. So, John, let's go ahead and get into some news today. Actually, for this show, we're going to talk about Green Day's new song. I think it's going to be the last song released until we get Saviors. Is that looks
February?
Like no,
it's January.
I think it's January 19th.
That's 2 weeks away. Yeah.
I'll look it up here in a minute. But 2 weeks away, and so we're going to talk about Green Day's new song. Some news about Rage Against the Machine. I can't believe it. But then
I can.
More news about Paramore. We don't know what's going on with them, but there is some things. Smashing Pumpkins doing something odd, I think. And then there's this one guy, John, who has 43 Metallica tattoos. So I want to get your opinion on that, and then maybe discuss one of your tattoos that you have.
It's the only one I have.
It is the only one you have.
Just my tattoo.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's get into the show, John. Let's start off with Green Day's new song. It was called, oh my God, I don't even have it written down.
One-Eyed Bastard.
One-Eyed Bastard. First of all...
It's about Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, man.
I think. I'm just guessing.
So this song, I would say it's definitely different from the ones that have been released in that there is a riff. You don't really get too many riffs, like single note guitar riff. You don't get that very much with Green Day. So that caught my attention. Something else that may catch your attention upon listening to this, especially if you're familiar with pop music, is the song kind of sounds like another song that was released, I don't know, when was that released? Probably
15 years ago?
2008. So John,
15 was closer.
You said, right when you heard it, you said what?
I said it sounded like something I'd heard before, a female pop song. I just couldn't place it. Yeah. I could almost like sing the lyrics, but I couldn't,
Yeah, sure.
It's hard for me to pick out a different melody while I'm listening to another song, so I can't.
Yeah, I usually have to, pause it and then play it in my head. So I didn't really notice this, but a lot of people are saying that there are similarities between Green Day's new song, One-Eyed Bastard, and Pink's 2008 hit, So What? And after I saw the headline of this, I was like, well, what part? And then I play it again, and I'm like, oh, it's the riff. It is almost the exact same riff.
Doesn't it? Did the Pink song go na 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 na?
Yeah, it goes na 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 na. Yeah. And she does na-nas at the end or something like that. But it is pretty damn close. I wouldn't say it's like note for note the same, but it might as well be. And I'm not going to...
If I were Pink, I would litigate.
I think Pink... Okay, so I will say this. I think Pink should be, rewarded for this. I think she monetarily rewarded for this. I mean, I think it's that close. It'd be one thing if not even so. I was going to say it might be one thing if Pink's song was like never a hit and it was like a deep cut or something like that. But still,
a gigantic hit.
It was huge and it's still played on pop radio. So yeah, I recommend.
I knew about it.
I think you guys, if you haven't heard the similarities, go back, turn on your Spotify or Apple Music, pull up One-Eyed Bastard by Green Day, just listen to the beginning riff, and then go over to Pink's 2008 hit, So What, and listen to the opening riff. It's
just going to sue them so much they're going to have to change their name to Pink Day.
Pink Day. Nice. Right. Overall, though, what did you think of the song?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's how I felt. It's not the best one released. I think did we say Dilemma was the best one released so far?
I think so, or maybe the first one.
Yeah, the first one, I have to pull up the...
Brain Dead, something.
So Look Ma, No Brains was one, and then The American Dream is Killing Me, which
American Dream is Killing Me,
I think Dilemma
probably.
is the one I like. Okay.
Yeah, I think I like The American Dream, Dilemma. Look Ma, No Brains, and One Eyed Bastard are kind of even to me.
I think we said Dilemma was the best because that's the one that starts off slow, right?
Yeah, you don't speak for me.
Yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, one thing...
I'm going to be countersued by Pink.
Yeah, Jesus. I don't know if you did either, but for One Eyed Bastard, I didn't get Pink initially, which I'm surprised because usually I pick up on stuff like that. But I feel like I got AFI vibes, like that Miss Murder song a little bit. And I went back to listen to Miss Murder and it didn't really necessarily sound like it, but I just got that vibe. I don't even know what it is.
Every time I go back and listen to that, I'm like, why did I like AFI? It's not good. I didn't like it.
No.
It doesn't do it for me anymore. Whatever it was.
That Miss Murder song, I think, is pretty good, but it also had pop elements, and I think that's why it was good to me because
I think as soon as we were on that Chicago tour, I never liked him again.
When they were on what?
No, when we toured in Chicago, and Alex brought back the lead singer of AFI.
Oh, that's right. Inside joke, everybody. Basically, the chick that he brought back looked like the lead singer of AFI.
And the funny part was I refused to give up my bed for...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I paid for the room, so...
Yeah, you should get the bed.
Off, really.
I don't even remember sleeping. I feel like I slept in a chair or some shit. Anyways.
The other gal. The other John.
One thing that does stand out on this track, though, is the riff. Not just because it's, sounds like a ripoff of Pink's So What, but the fact that it is a riff, and you don't hear that too often from Green Day. I wonder if there's going to be more riffs on this album. And I also wonder if they start using riffs more. I feel like that opens up like so much that this band can do, because that riff doesn't sound like, if you were to hear this song, this band play this riff before Billy Joe's vocals come in, you wouldn't say it's a Green Day song.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know that I want to hear them get more riffy, but it does make me wonder what, if that just opens up so many more doors for Green Day creatively going forward. So it'd be interesting to see.
I wait pending lawsuit coming.
Sure, yeah.
When was that? Was it put out Friday?
Yeah, Thursday or Friday. Yep.
I'd say Monday morning we're going to see some.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like Pink's going to be getting some money from this. I
or
feel
whoever
like.
wrote the song for Pink.
Yeah.
I don't know that she wrote it. But.
So, and I think, let me look up here. I just want to see when Saviors is coming out. I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay, yeah. January 19th, Saviors is coming out. So everybody be ready for some new Green Day. Okay, John. So some news this week. Rage Against the Machine. Get this. So this is what we wrote on our Instagram. Rage Against the Machine's drummer, Brad Wilk, delivered a disheartening message to fans confirming the band's permanent halt on live performances and tours. The band itself also seemed to confirm Brad's message as they shared his statement via a Blabbermouth article. So in the post, Wilk says, "I know a lot of people are waiting for us to announce new tour dates for all the canceled RATM shows. I don't want to string people or myself along any further. So while there has been some communication that this may be happening in the future, I want to let you know that RATM, Tim, Zach, Tom, and I will not be touring or playing live again. I'm sorry for those of you who have been waiting for this to happen. I really wish it was." And then I go on to say, this seemingly cuts the reunion short for the newly inducted Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. So, John, I shared that with you, and you had mentioned that this is probably, the third time that they broke up?
At least that I can remember. I mean, they've broken up several times. Because they broke up before Audio Slave was formed.
Oh, that's right.
Or at least they were on a hiatus of some sort. So.
Right. Yeah, so they reunited in 2019, pre-pandemic. Then the comeback tour was announced in 2019. Then it was delayed several times due to the pandemic. It marked the first time the reunited quartet had hit the road since 2011. In October 2022, Rage Against the Machine canceled its North American tour 3 months after Zach severed his left Achilles tendon. I believe that was on a tour date in Chicago, if I remember correctly. And in November 2023, just a few months ago, Tom Morello was the sole member of Rage Against the Machine who attended the band's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And now, January 3rd, 2024, the band seemingly breaks up. I mean, it just says they're not going to be performing live and touring again. I can't imagine that means they're still going to get in the studio.
Doesn't sound like they want to be in the same room. So
no, since Tom Morello was the only one to accept the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think that speaks volumes. I know some people have some artists have their qualms over the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and how they decide who gets in, who gets out, that sort of thing. So, being a political band that RATM is, I don't know that the other three members, I don't know what their thoughts on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, and maybe that's why they didn't attend, but it would seem like with this new revelation from Brad Wilk that there's turmoil or something's going on in the band since Tom was the only one to be there.
As far as I'm concerned, the other three aren't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right. You don't show up, you don't get in.
Unless you're dead, then John Lennon's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, sorry, John.
So yeah,
George too. Did you ever went in solo?
I think they're all in
posthumously.
Yeah, probably.
But they're all in solo as well.
I think they're all in solo. Yep.
And then Paul McCartney's in with Wings as well. So 3 types.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and listen to each one's individual solo catalog because I wonder if they just got in solo because they're the Beatles.
I don't know. Ringo's solo might be the only one that's a little suspect, but he has moments too. I just don't like Ringo's voice, so I never really seek it out. But I think George was a little overrated too, solo wise. But
that's what I mean. I feel like Paul and John for sure. George obviously did way better than Ringo, I think, solo wise.
I think it's probably pretty close, actually.
Really? I don't know.
They all did well, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Paul's made some shit too, so
sure.
John just wasn't old enough to make, or around long enough to make shit.
That's true.
I mean, that song with Michael Jackson.
I mean,
come on, folks.
But John Lennon is, I don't know that he could really make too much shit.
I mean his experimental stuff with Yoko.
Oh, well, yeah. Don't count that.
Okay.
Don't count that. All right, John, moving on.
The Two Virgins stuff.
So we talked about, I think we talked about Paramore last week, and how, you might have to refresh my memory, but
we speculated as this was approaching that, I think we kind of called a shot as to what was going to happen.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, Paramore didn't know what the future held for them.
There's an article about them being interviewed, and cryptically, as the article is framing it, whether they're done or not.
Right, exactly. That was it. So we kind of speculated, one, their contractual obligations with Atlantic Records were coming up, and it looks like they are now a free agent, so they are no longer under Atlantic Records. But the news that came out this week was Paramore dropped out of Alter Ego Fest, their headlining performance. And so fans are speculating what's going on. And also Paramore, I guess, last week wiped all their social media accounts. So no posts, as you see people in the scene do, or I guess in the music industry do. And I think that's so lame, by the way. Just I don't get it. I get it, but literally every band does it when they have a new album coming out, and it's just do something different. But anyways, so, fans are wondering what's going on. So they dropped out of Alter Ego Fest. Well, let's see here. NME has the article here. They say Paramore drop out of Alter Ego Fest headline performance after fan speculation and wiping social accounts. The band are being replaced by Fall Out Boy at this Los Angeles gig. So, goes on to say, this comes after the band wiped their social media accounts last month. The trio, comprised of frontwoman Hayley Williams, guitarist Taylor York, and drummer Zach Farrow, took down all posts and images from their X, Facebook, and Instagram profiles just after Christmas, while their official website now just displays a 404 error message. They were set to play the festival show for iHeartRadio in Los Angeles on January 13th, but have now announced they will no longer be playing. They will be replaced by Fall Out Boy. The cancellation message on the band's Instagram stories read, due to unforeseen circumstances, Paramore can no longer attend and perform at iHeartRadio Alter Ego on January 13th. The band apologizes for any inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
So, fans have since shared their worry on social media about the news, with some believing that they are breaking up. See a range of reactions below. So people are basically, what's next? Paramore's Spotify page goes blank and all songs are deleted. It's not a year beginning with the number 2 if it doesn't have Paramore breakup rumors in it.
Ooh.
Paramore, let's delete all our social media posts and confuse the fans. Paramore fans. Mass panic. Don't break up. They have to say something at Alter Ego next week. Paramore, we have pulled out of our first show of 2024. Mass panic begins. And then people are just stressed, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, and then last month, like we talked about, the band said there was a level of uncertainty about their future, but that was because of contractual obligations being fulfilled with Atlantic Records. So, John, do you have your speculation? Do you feel like you know what might be going on here? Let's kind of dig in and see what we think.
I think they're just taking this as an opportunity to like create a buzz.
Sure.
They're dropping out of a show, but they can kind of keep their name in the conversation by, behaving this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And and we talked about it last week. I feel like,
and part of it might be whoever their new label, maybe their new label wants them to do this. So it's like a re-unveiling when they, announce that they're signed. And
yeah, it's clearly some marketing ploy for sure, because one, you knew the contractual obligations were coming up. So wiping your account makes me think that you're doing that because you have plans. It was a predetermined step for some type of unveiling later on.
Yeah,
now
it's a marketing. Like I see it as a marketing play.
Yeah,
it's calculated.
And they're getting ready to go on tour with Taylor Swift, I think, pretty soon. Aren't they not? So.
Oh, isn't it overseas or something?
Yeah, I think so. But. So, I mean, they have that. So Paramore is going to be doing just fine.
Yeah, you don't cancel on Taylor.
I feel like it's not going to be Atlantic Records, though, that re-signs them, because I feel like they would have done so already, unless, like you said, it's just a marketing ploy with Atlantic Records, to do all this stuff. But Paramore will get gobbled up by somebody for sure.
Yeah, you piss Taylor off enough, she'll, recut your records her own way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just put you out of business.
Atlantic, you might want to re-sign them before, Hayley Williams and Paramore start giving you the old Taylor Swift treatment.
Mm.
Here's my thought.
No, I think Taylor will re-record Paramore's music.
Oh, gosh.
Just to spite him.
I think Taylor Swift and Hayley are friends, though. No. Pretty close. No?
I don't think so.
Oh, not anymore? Okay.
I can't see anybody being friends with her, but not Taylor.
Haley or Taylor?
Yeah. Haley.
Really?
Yeah, it's friendless.
We're gonna receive a ton of hate for this one.
That's fine.
Well, let's go into that. Why do you feel like nobody would be friends with her?
I was just joking.
Okay.
I'm sure she has tons of friends.
Yep.
She has more friends than anybody.
Uh-huh. I didn't know
most friends.
I didn't know if you were thinking more of her mom moments on stage and whatnot, and that's what kind of turns you off.
Yeah.
As being a friend of Hayley's.
Oh, that's accurate, yeah.
Okay. We'll move on. Here's one thing that I thought, John, because one, even if all this is a marketing ploy, doesn't it seem kind of shitty if it is a marketing ploy to drop off a headlining festival appearance that maybe people have already bought tickets to? Now, this is just speculation. I'm surprised nobody else is talking about it. Isn't Hayley Williams and Taylor York, they're dating? Maybe it's a little rocky relationship right now, and Hayley just can't handle it, or Taylor can't handle being in the same room. So I'm speculating that Taylor and Hayley have broken up.
Oh.
And that's what's going on with this fest only. Or maybe that's why they wiped the socials too, because Hayley doesn't want to be seen in any pictures with Taylor. That's it. There can only be one Taylor in her life, and that's Taylor Swift.
That's right.
For this upcoming tour. So
I need to take a 2-minute break.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, sorry.
Nope, you're good. Number 1, number 2, or did you have to refill coffee?
2 and 3.
All right, good deal. That was quick. That was real quick.
I'm always quick, baby.
I'm just so everybody else knows, I'm leaving that gap in there.
No. It was quick enough, wasn't it?
I should have just kept going.
Yeah, you could have just kept rambling.
Yeah, but real quick, too.
You should wipe that from the podcast.
You did enough wiping, did you not? Anyways.
Actually, I don't think so. You probably have to go back.
I do want to say real quick, I did mention that Paramore is set to go on tour with Taylor Swift. That'll be some European dates for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, and that will run from May to July 2024. So, I mean, Paramore's going to get gobbled up by somebody because that's a great big opportunity for any band, any artist to open up for Taylor Swift. So I think Paramore's going to be just fine. And whatever label grabs them next, they're going to reap the benefits of this tour, I think. So we'll see. Paramore is not going anywhere, people. They are not breaking up. Just, there's no way. Especially after just releasing This Is Why. Didn't they just release that album this year? So it's like, no, they're not breaking up.
The year prior.
They ain't breaking up.
That was 2022.
Okay. Either way, they're not breaking up. Okay, so John.
Oh, Jesus.
Since you're back, I feel like we could talk about a band that was really popular back in the day when we were, preteens and getting into alternative rock music. The Smashing Pumpkins were in the news, and it's because you can now officially apply to be Smashing Pumpkins' additional guitarist. That's a really cool opportunity, but the whole thing, to me, seems a little weird, and I don't know how you think. But let me read this thing from Kerrang. They say, following the departure of Jeff Schroeder last year, the Smashing Pumpkins have invited people to apply to be their new additional guitarist. Yes, this is completely real, it says. They posted on X. The Smashing Pumpkins did. They say the Smashing Pumpkins are in search of an additional guitarist. The application process is open to anyone who might be interested. If that means you, then you can apply now via spguitar@redlightmanagement.com by sending over a resume and related material. So, there you go. John.
Are you applying? That's my question.
I am not applying. But doesn't this seem kind of weird? I feel like for a band like the Smashing Pumpkins, at their stature, the fame that they had, the popularity that they currently have, do you think it's kind of weird that they're having open auditions? Don't you think Billy Corgan or the band members would have already had, guitarist friends that they'd want to be in the band? Like, why open it up to just literally everybody? I don't know if
maybe you find somebody better.
Maybe you do, but also Billy Corgan is a interesting man. I know from what I've read in the past, maybe he's a little difficult to work with, so maybe his friend guitarists don't want to join the band because of that. But I don't know, it just seems a little odd. It's not like this is a band on the come up, having open auditions. Plus I just feel like there's going to be so many resumes that are submitted, and some are going to be really good and some are going to be terrible, but somebody has to go through all of those resumes, all of those videos. I assume they have to put some type of, video of them playing, but I don't know. I just think the whole thing seems a little odd, just coming from the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, I'm not applying either.
Yeah, it's not for me, but I did think it was interesting enough to share. But I would think that the Smashing Pumpkins would already have some guitar friends that would be more than qualified to play Smashing Pumpkins material.
No, will it be a third guitarist or?
It says an additional guitarist because they had the departure of Jeff Schroeder. I think it was in December. I thought he said that he was leaving the band, so they need another guitarist. So you're going to be playing alongside Billy Corgan guitar wise. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that one pans out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll actually get somebody from these resumes, or it'll end up just being somebody they already know, somebody that we've already heard play before, who has a lot of experience playing. Because I assume you're going to want someone who has touring experience and all that stuff. So I don't know.
And you're from Rage Against the Machine's available.
Hey, that's true. Yeah, Tom Morello. I'd like to see him in the Smashing Pumpkins. That'd be sweet. I hope he sends in a resume. Anyways, that'd be cool.
He likes to do weird shit on the guitar.
Speaking of weird shit, John, that is a great segue.
I just had one.
There was an article this week that I came across titled "This Fan Hit a World Record with 43 Metallica Tattoos," and this comes from a Journal of Musical Things. It's a site run by Alan Cross, who is a longtime radio DJ. He writes, "There are fans, and then there are super fans. Tom Engelbrecht, 33, is one of Norway's biggest Metallica supporters. He's just been recognized as the person who has more Metallica tattoos than any other person on the planet. Who knew that the Guinness Book of World Records had a category for most tattoos of the same band?" It says Tom has 43 of them, and they're carefully organized. Do you have the link? I could show you a picture if you want.
Sure, go ahead and show me.
All right, I sent it to you, so you can pull that up. All right, and I'll keep reading. So like on his ankle to the knee, it says Metallica history with album covers, DVD covers, letters, newspaper clips, and fragments of lyrics is what that includes, ankle to knee. Then his thigh features portraits of everyone who has ever been in the band since 1983. The arm is decorated with skulls from the band's LP covers and designs of official t-shirts. His ribs have more song lyrics, and shoulder lyrics to Fade to Black. Total cost is an estimated $24,000.
My God.
And he should never wear jeans like this, I feel like. He's got his jeans all rolled up, like Daisy Duke looking jeans.
Yeah, it doesn't really go with the vibe of Metallica.
No, not at all. But wow. I mean,
I always thought if I got that many tattoos, I'd want to be toned.
Yeah, let's see.
Like toned up muscle-wise.
Yeah, I feel like you should be a little bit toned. It's not like this guy looks like he's in bad shape. He's definitely dad bod, but that's fine.
He just looks soft to the touch.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what I'd say.
But, man, that one underneath the armpit.
Wispy chest hair.
The one underneath the armpit looks like that would probably hurt to get.
That would hurt. Yeah, because you got the hair follicles down there. It's a very sensitive area.
Yeah. So he is definitely a fan, I'd say. Super fan for sure. But John, I wanted to bring that up because, and if you guys
I don't want to body shame,
If you guys look at the YouTube version of this episode, we'll be showing that pictures of this, so you can kind of see what we're talking about. I just want to say,
if you're going to get shoulder tattoos, make sure you have shoulders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But John, I thought talking about 43 Metallica tattoos was a good time to bring up about one of your tattoos, because I don't think we've ever discussed your tattoo on this show.
And, it rarely comes up.
Yeah. So how old were we? So when John and I were younger, we were probably 18, 19?
I was 18, yeah.
So, okay. So 18, we were probably both 18 because at one point we thought it would be a good idea to go get some piercings. Me, Ryan, and John, our buddy Ryan. So Ryan and I got our nipple pierced. Each got our nipple pierced. I ended up getting my eyebrow pierced. John didn't get any piercings, but we dared John to get a tattoo. Keep in mind, we're 18 at this point. So just legal enough to get a tattoo without any consent or anything. And so, John, what did we tell you to get? Well, we didn't tell you to get it. You picked it out, I think.
Yeah, I think it was more of where I should get the tattoo more than what the tattoo should be, probably.
Okay. Yep.
So I think the dare was to get a tattoo on my ass cheek.
Yep.
So I think we kind of did a quick, probably Google at that point. Yeah. Searched out. I was always a big Simpsons fan, so said, let's find a funny, who's the funniest Simpsons character to kind of get tattooed on your ass. And I think we landed. I wanted to go a little obscure.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't want to go Homer or Bart or something like that.
No, absolutely not.
Kind of, I wanted it to be a repeating character, but somebody that was a little bit further down the line. So we went with Ralph Wiggum.
Mm-hmm. And he's picking his nose, right?
Yeah, one of the more common Ralph Wiggum images is that image of him picking his nose. So
yeah,
went ahead and got that.
And I do think game time decision was let's have him wearing a Yeti shirt as well, which was our old band name. So the words Yeti is on Ralph's shirt.
It's just odd because he's not wearing like a band t-shirt. He's just wearing his normal shirt, and then there's a rectangle with Yeti. So that's how he's like, okay.
Yeah,
So instead of like creatively putting him in a black t-shirt or something, he's just like, oh, I'll just draw it on.
Well,
that's probably what I asked for, to be honest. So.
Well, and it's not like we had an image that, like I said, it was a game time decision, so he had nothing to work with.
It just says Yeti on there. It doesn't say Yeti 242, right?
Right. I don't think so.
I can't see it, so I don't know.
Yeah. So.
Do you want me to hold it up for you?
Yeah. I mean, we could show if you guys want to see the YouTube version of this. John, okay, no. So now I do have to ask for the listeners because they're wondering when you and Beth were, first getting together, you had to break this news to her. This couldn't be something that she just discovered on her own, right?
No, I gave her a heads up.
Okay. Yeah, that's something you don't want to catch somebody off guard with that.
No, I was a preamble before my pants came off.
Now, honey, I need to tell you something. It's good you're sitting down, but I got a tattoo on my ass.
No, she likes it.
John, do you love anything enough, though, to get 43 tattoos of something? No. I don't think I do either. Like I don't want 43. The only reason I don't have any tattoos is because
eventually, gravity takes hold. They're not going to look the same.
Nope. And just the cost, the time it takes to put it in. But also, like, the reason I don't have any tattoos, I like tattoos. I think tattoos are sweet. But I wouldn't know what to get. I have no idea what to get. So I'm tattooless. So
yeah, I could never decide on getting something else. So that's why I just still have the one.
I do think, though, if you're getting tattoos, I think like getting sleeves looks the sweetest, like the coolest. But I know I would never be able to get that because I wouldn't be able to decide on what I want, All right, John.
It's tough. It's a permanent decision, so.
I've got a real question for you here. Chicks with tats. Love it, hate it, or it's whatever?
I think it depends on the lady.
Oh,
like,
and
I'm saying it looks good.
I'm saying like tats, like sleeves. Maybe a pant leg of tattoos.
I prefer them on the arm over the leg.
Yeah?
Yeah, an arm, like a sleeve wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, me neither. I think it's cool.
It just makes me think she's tougher than I am. But
yeah, and sometimes guys need protection too.
It's probably true. Yeah.
So it is what it is. All right.
I need somebody to fight for me.
Right. All right, guys. That'll do it for this episode. So thanks for tuning in. Again, if you want to support us, support this show, hit that support the show link in the show notes. And also, guys, if you can't support us monetarily, hitting that follow button on the podcast that you're on, helping us spread the word about this podcast. So if you know anybody who likes or who is seeking out a podcast about the music industry, about pop punk, emo, alternative, just music in general, share this podcast with them. It really does help. We want to reach more listeners just like you, and also rate and review us. Give us a 5-star on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. Those 5-star reviews go a long way. It'll just help the algorithm when there is an algorithm for podcasts. So, and also it lets us know that we're doing something right and that you want us to continue. So with that, guys, thanks a ton. I hope you guys had a good holiday, and I hope you have an even better 2024. So with that, we're out.